Crack-a-lackin' guys, so back again today, and this time I got a battle spot battle for you that I did, special battle of course because it's 6v6, reason being is I've tried for the longest time to get a freaking Wi-Fi battle, and it's like everyone who says let's battle or something doesn't want to battle at the moment, and everyone else just wants to trade for legendaries and rip you off. Anyways, this time I'm bringing a mono fighting team. We got Blaziken, Breloom, Terrakion, Scrafty, the Champ, and my man Poliwrath. And my opponent's got some pretty threatening things here, especially that Azumarill and that Landorus. And I'm kind of worried about the Dusclops as well, and maybe even the Bisharp. But anyways, let's get this thing cracking, shall we? So Joey's issuing a challenge. Joey Triviani from Friends. Yes, that is him indeed. I don't know. Anyways, he goes off and leads with the worst possible thing here, the Azumarill. If he had a Talonflame, I'd just crap my pants right there. Anyways, I let off with a Blaziken just in case that happened. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna Poison Jab this thing. Probably didn't expect me to have it in the first place. And I get the Poison Hex. Would you look at that? Sorry, little bunny. You can't go for your belly drum no more. And dwindles him down to the red portion of his health here. So I'm thinking, you know what? I could switch out. But he's probably going to Aqua Jet anyway, so I'm going to try and go for Protect here. Get the Protect, obviously. I don't know why I said try, because this is the first one. But that pretty much gave it away, because I'm going to try to be a cheapskate here and go for another Protect, because I'm like, why should I invest in my time and switch out into another Pokemon for you to damage it? But it kind of backfires, and he does get the Aqua Jet off anyway. So I'm like, okay, if this kills me, I'm going to look like an idiot. But it doesn't. Blaziken lives that. I really should have just switched out on seeing that to the Poliwrath. Why didn't I do that? Wow. Okay, anyways. Gonna get another... Oh, the speed boost is why I didn't do it, ladies and gents. So, he's gonna go out and send out this Bisharp here. And I'm like, that's a ballsy move. But I completely forgot about Sucker Punch. So, it's the end of Blaziken there. Sorry, Hot Wings. So I'm gonna go out and send out my Scrafty here. His nickname's Little John. Yeah. He's gonna get up, yeah, Intimidate, and this Bisharp's packing Defiance. So I'm like, crap! This thing's just pulling out everything opposite of what I want. But for some reason he goes and withdraws. So I'm like, you could have pretty much like took my number there. Anyways, he goes into the Landorus here to get an Intimidate off my Scrafty. Not a bad move. I get this Fake Out. It's not really gonna matter at this point. So I'm gonna take Little John back. Little John. Go into my Poliwrath. Only reason is because this thing is my physical wall. His nickname is Busta Rhymes. I don't know why I nicknamed that, but that's his nickname if you're wondering. He's gonna go for a fly, so I'm like, I don't know if Poliwrath wants to take a fly right now. So I'm gonna go into Teriyaki Man. My Terrakion. Shiny Terrakion. This thing just looks so gangsta. But anyways, he gets the fly, and I'm like, crap, that does a crap ton. And he goes and withdraws again. I'm like, yo. Stop playing, man. Goes into a Heliolisk. I'm like, dude, you are so lucky, because if I went for the close combat, your Heliolisk would have been toast. More like Helio Roast. Anyways, I gotta go back, because I don't really want to play around at this point. So I'm gonna go into my Breloom here. This is one of two Brelooms I have. This one packs Technician as opposed to Poison Heal, because of course you're not allowed items in this special 6v6 battle spot. Anyways, he's going to go for the Volt Switch there and go back to Joey. I'm like, whatever, dude. I'm going to Spore something. And he sends out the Dusclops, and I'm like, thank God I decided to, you know, switch into Breloom here. Because, like, if I didn't get the Spore off on this thing as I did now, Battle probably went way out and down into the ocean, and I would have just drowned. So, yeah, I'm going to go back out into something that could hit this Dusclops a little harder here. Namely my Scrafty here. And it sucks because, you know, knockoff sucks in 6v6 battle spot because no one has any items. But I mean, it's still super effective stab, so it should do a decent amount. Should do more than anything on my team can hit it with right now because it's, of course, freaking ghost type. You can't hit them with your fists unless you use that magnifying glass foresight. But it's gonna go ahead and get the Nightshade off there. I'm like, alright, 50 damage, whatever. Whatever, yo. It's gonna go ahead and withdraw now. He's gonna go back out into the Landers. I'm like, oh, here we go again. Intimidate. So I'm like, okay, I gotta switch back out. But nope, I went for the Ice Punch. And it takes it out despite the Intimidate. 4 times effective, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the results are. So he's gonna go out into this Rapidash here, and it looks pretty cool. I think I might want to get a shiny Rapidash of my own. I don't know if I want to invest the time in, you know, breeding for it yet. We'll see. Anyways, I'm gonna switch Scrappy out because I can't damage this thing for beans right now. So I go back into my Teriyaki Man. Serving this thing teriyaki since 1997. I don't know why I chose that year. That was random. But he goes for that bounce. And I'm like, seriously, bro? Seriously? So I go on my Poliwrath because I'm like, yo, if anyone can take a bounce, it's Poliwrath. Because he just has that gangsta bounce. So he takes that bounce pretty well. I'm like, yes, no Parahack. Because I would just went for the Scald and you would have been done. Goes back into Dusclops here. I'm like, crap. Crap. I cannot hit this thing with Circle Throw. That's pretty much Poliwrath's role on this team, to be honest. If I have the Stealth Rocks up, Circle Throw, Circle Throw, Circle Throw, rest. And repeat. But this is really a painful moment here as he shares the pain. As he shares his pain with me, I almost took him out. So I had to go for the rest here. Just to get myself back up to full HP. And here is where I start to make kind of stupid plays that kind of, you know, draw out the battle a little bit. He goes for the Confuse Ray, and I'm like, alright, you know what, Poliwrath, that ain't nothing to Poliwrath. He can break through when he wants. And this Poliwrath has a good track record of waking up after 2 turns, might I add. So yeah, I went for the Sleep Talk here. I'm like, come on, Scald, Scald, Scald. Damn it, he used Rest. And then he goes for the Pain Split again. So that's really annoying. That's not what I wanted to see. But I'm defiant. I'm stubborn here. I'm like, yeah, Poliwrath breakthrough again, man. What you want? So I go for the Sleep Talk, hoping for a Scald now. Just hoping for a Scald, but nope. Circle Throw. You can't grab Ghost's Poliwrath, even if you have gloves on. So he gets off another Nightshade there. Was that a Nightshade? I kind of looked away. Yeah, pretty sure it was. So I go back on Scrafty, hoping to get a knockoff off of this thing. And, you know, what are the chances that he goes for a Confuser? So it was a pretty safe switch. So he's gonna get... Wow. He's gonna get off a Night Sway. Night Sway. Nightshade there. And I'm like, damn. My mind's all fogged up here. Gonna go for the Confuser again. I'm like, my eyes. Actually, my eyes are fine because they're closed right now. But, I gotta switch this thing back out again. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna put this thing back to sleep because it worked before. It should work again. I can take another Nightshade and live it with 5 HP at this point. And so that's exactly what happens. I'm like, yeah. He tries to go for the Sucker Punch. I'm like, sucker. You can't get Sucker Punch off when I'm using the Spore. So I get the Spore to land and I'm like, oh, thank God. You know, I thought of how many times I've watched, you know, Hayden's Let's Plays and that Toxicroak, where this Toxicroak is Mrs. Spore in the Elite Four, or in Pokemon Glades. But anyways, I go back into Scrafty, hoping to get a knockoff on this thing. Stays asleep, so that's 1 guaranteed knockoff. So I'm like, you know what? 2 of these knockoffs are going to kill this thing. If I were him, and he were me, I would switch back into that Bisharp. Because knockoff ain't going to do a damn thing. And that's what he does. So I predicted that and went for the Drain Punch. I'm gonna have him for lunch, basically. Sounds kind of weird, but that's what's happening now. Is Scrafty just headbangs his way. Should have named this thing like Travis Barker. That's a sick nickname for a Scrafty. Anyways, that's a drummer from Blink-182. Yeah, Scrafty takes this thing out with a Drain Punch, and here comes the Rapidash. And I'm like, I can't outspeed this thing. So I went back into my Blaziken, protected, and Baton passed back into Scrafty. So I'm not going to try that yet. I'm going to go back into Terrakion here. See what this thing wants to do. I'm predicting it's going to waste a turn using Bounce, and that's what happens. At this point, I'm like, well, that was kind of a waste switching on my part. Why did I do that? So I switched it back out. And I went to go. This time I went back into the Poliwrath here, and I'm like, Poliwrath can take a Bounce just fine. Yeah, that did a little more now. It just seems like it did a little more now since it went into the red. But he has Poison Jab. I'm like, what? This thing, what? Packs Poison Jab. It's gonna stick its hooves in my face. Anyways, go back and out in Scrafty for the Intimidate again. Because at this point, I just need to, like, you know, chip this thing away. He's gonna go Withdraw here, and guess who comes back out? Our friend, the fat ghost inside toilet paper. So he probably just sent this thing out as Death Father anyways. So I went for the Fake Out just because I thought it was the safest move at the time, which it was. So I went for the knockoff. And thankfully, this thing is history. Just like its wardrobe. But yeah, so Rapidash comes back out, and I'm like, great. Just a little more. My Machamp can't take you out yet with a Bullet Punch. Or can it? I don't know. I take that Flare Blitz nice and well. And I'm going to hit this thing out with a Drain Punch and take you out. So, that's how you ride horsies, ladies and gents. No matter how hot their backs are, with black flames that look like gray smoke. And, you know, for the whole duration of this battle, for some reason or another, I forgot that Heliolisk was electric and normal. You don't look at it and be like, oh, that's an electric normal type. So I could have just went for the Drain Punch there, but I switched out into Breloom to take a electric hit so I can get a switch in after that. Sorry about that, Breloom. I'm gonna go back and send Scrafty in so I can get a Fake Out off. That's pretty much the only difference. I mean, like, Heliolisk is a special attacker, so that Intimidate doesn't really matter at all. So that Fake Out's gonna do not bad amount. And of course he flinches. He outspeeds me because Heliolisk is fast as heck. It's a Basilisk Pokemon, isn't it? Runs on water, those things in real life. And this Drain Punch is basically enough to take it out because Heliolisk is pretty frail. It's kind of like a Beanie Baby. It looks like a TY Beanie Baby. That's what I think. Don't get me wrong, Helios is cool. I use it on my Sun team on occasion. Anyways, that's how we won that battle. That was pretty fun. Again, I did have Heracross and who else? My Toxic Orb Breloom on this fighting team before in Wi-Fi battles if I could ever get another one. But you know, this Technician Breloom turned out to not do too badly. Anyways, that was this team's debut, this mono fighting team, which had me scared to death halftime on the what do you call it, battle spot. But it did get me some consecutive wins, so thank God for that. Anyways, if you guys loved what you saw here and want to see more, don't forget to smash that like button for me. It helps a crap ton. And as always, if you want to see more weird teams or mono teams I put together, just don't be afraid to subscribe. And until next time, peace.